Terrible.
So hopefully, I guess we're gonna anticipate a 2025 Usyk Dubois rematch if Usyk is still fighting. I got my doubts about. Well, I tell you what. The only thing is that Dubois has that belt, and I think Usyk has the motivation to maybe one final unification, or what I'm saying,
Mhm.
undisputed. Maybe one final undisputed matchup, and
Who's the
Probably,
last time?
you think it's close. You think he's close to hanging it up though?
I personally do. That's just my opinion. I mean, we look at
Yeah.
all those guys that come from that lineage and that long, tedious amateur career
Yep.
lead
Yep.
up to the pros. So that's just me looking,
We're
opining.
at the end. We're at the tail end of it, regardless. If it's next year, or the year after that, we're gonna see a handful of fights.
And then,
At the
hey,
max. At the max.
but check it out. I mean, when we talking big money and we talking pound for pound, I mean, let's say he fights Dubois and then I don't know, maybe he goes down to light heavyweight and maybe we can see, I don't know. Hey.
Look, that's where he came from. But nah, you have to see more of a retirement situation or a long layoff before that, because you got some young guns in there. I don't know if I want to Usyk in there with some of these guys that are coming down the pipeline. But as a champ, hey, those challengers will be lining up for a payday for sure.
I have a question for you guys, and I'm just discovering this right now. To be undisputed, all you need is just 3 belts. You don't need the slew of everything.
Boo. So that's the historically.
You just need 3 belts because
WBA, WBC, IBF.
So WBA, WBC, WBO. Some of them just have that. Like Canelo doesn't have the IBF, and he's undisputed.
So he's not. I mean, for me, he's not undisputed because this is the 4 belt era.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying? Like historically, there's the 3 belts, that were historic.
Okay.
And then, WBC is not the original, but it became the top tier belt. And so now that we are in this 4 belt era, put everything to rest and just take out all the champions.
So in general, Usyk is undisputed then. Because
I feel like when he won it, he attained it and unified all the belts. Yeah. And I think something happened where
the forfeit.
Yeah, forfeit.
Let's try to find that real quick.
But so Usyk, interesting character, right? Hopping from weight division to weight division to weight division. We are talking about, does he have another 3-4 years in the heavyweight? It's interesting to think of his fighting style. He doesn't get hurt too much. That's one. I think that's the main thing that I think makes fighters fight longer. And then their styles. What do you think Usyk does to prepare to fight like Usyk? I don't think he does too much, because naturally, I think in his brain, he's a smaller fighter. He's not a real heavyweight at heart. I don't think he is. He doesn't fight like a real heavyweight at heart, but he's so fast. He has good feet. And you know what? Maybe I may take my words back. If you fight like that, then maybe training camp is a lot of cardio, and then having so big to fight the bigger dudes. I don't know how that works and how that takes a toll on your body, because really and truly, for a person his age, you could tell from, like, I could tell Joshua doesn't have a lot more years to fight, because to be that structure, the way he's built, to fight the way he fights, because Joshua does get touched a lot. There's so much that goes into preparing for a fight, that how many times do you have will your body let you prepare for these type of wars? Deontay Wilder, the amount of punishment he gets just to get his little one moment with his right hand. How many of those do you have? Wars, fighting King Kong, fighting Fury, fighting Zhang, where you even Joe Parker gave him a hard time. Like, yeah, I think heavyweight is hard.
That's heavy. It's heavy punishment. It's not an easy division.
Yeah, you may be right. Maybe Dubois is taking off, and Usyk. I don't think Usyk. Maybe Usyk may have a little bit more time. I don't think Fury has a lot of time in the heavyweight. I think Joshua maybe we joked about the retirement thing, but I don't see it. I don't see any future in these fighters. Even
Would you say?
Miller. I don't see Miller
said,
having.
Oh, really?
I don't see it. I mean, he's he's fresher than these dudes because he's been shelved for a little bit of time.
Right.
He sat down and he's not been active, but I really do see the future of heavyweights as the Martin Bacoli, the Dubois. Somehow I see Usyk still in there, but I don't know.
The future's on the horizon. The future's on the horizon.
He don't
Usyk
look like
is the president.
He doesn't get punished. He never gets punished.
But you're looking at it from a mileage standpoint, and I'm looking at it from a, I don't know.
Well, you're going back to the amateurs, right? As far as
I mean, there's
boxing experience.
That's mileage too, but just the personality. Like I'm looking at the personality. Like I'm looking beyond the ring, and to say, when is this man going to be content? Like these foreigners have a different level of motivation. You see what I'm saying? A different level of contentment. It's also like the American dream is the American dream, right? And so that, that's the driving force for American fighters. But once, these foreigners accomplish what they set out to accomplish, how long do they want to stay on top? What does their motivation become at that point?
That's a good point, because didn't he give up a belt? But when he became undisputed, he didn't take the mandatory from one of the sanctioning bodies, which allowed for a Dubois to have a belt, which down the line you have more excitement with a bigger fight to be made. So,
and then also there's what's the fee associated with the governing body? There's a fee that you have to pay to retain the belt. Like crap, but
yeah, exactly. I agree.
But yeah, Usyk versus Dubois. If that happens, I think Dubois is going to lose that fight. But that's just my opinion. If it happens, I just don't think he has enough tools to fight that guy. That guy has been in how many amateur fights does Usyk have? He has one of the record amateur. He's been around for a long time.
You can just assume anytime you got the Eastern Europeans that we're in the 200-300 range as far as fights go. I mean, it's a safe assumption without us fact checking it. They get it in. That's part of